Hi, today is the 31st, and I wanted to make this video to maybe put some knowledge into other people, maybe to give you guys some knowledge, because there's been people wanting to open like gated communities, like campuses and stuff like that in different states for people with disabilities, including autism, and I want to, tell you basically what that would mean and what they are. So basically, what a gated community or that would mean is you basically be institutionalized. And what I mean by that is, for people that don't know, institutionalization, you get put in a really big building, and all you guys are in like one, all your disabled people are in like one building, and they don't get like, I mean, I know you may think that you mean well, but they do not. But sometimes there's just so many people and so little staff, they do not get attention. Nothing gets done except for like feeding, basic things like feeding, clothing, and it becomes medical based, not community based. They don't get to go out on outings in the community. They don't get to do any of the stuff that you or I would get to do if they're in an institutional setting. They just have to sit there and do nothing, depending on the institution. Some institutions, they will have programs, but the way they handle the program is does not individualize it for that person. It's a one-size-fits-all type of thing. When I was in the school for the blind, but some of that stuff did not happen to me, like the not getting enough, well, not, getting individualized attention, not doing anything. But what did happen is we didn't get to go out a whole lot. We only got to go out a few times a month. We had a lot of rules telling us what we could and couldn't do. Like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. And for somebody that's higher functioning, even though they're higher functioning, they're going to still have those rules for people. They're going to still have that in that type of a setting. I know you may think that they might not, but if you're higher functioning, you get the same treatment as everybody else. Basically, you have to follow the same rules as everybody else. I mean, you don't exactly have to do the same thing as everybody else, but you have to follow the same rules as everybody else. And you have to, they don't exempt you if you're higher functioning. Nope. If you're higher, like if you're a savant, they will not prepare you, because what if someday it ended up closing and you ended up in the community? They don't prepare you for that. So that is why I'm going to say this now. I'm probably going to say this repeatedly throughout this whole video. Institutions do not work. Gated communities do not work. College campuses communities for adults with disabilities do not work unless it's an actual college campus, like if you're actually in college. But that will not work. You could just as easily, what you guys should be focused on is creating more community services, music therapy, and stuff, looking for it in the community, because it's out there. It's out there. You just got to look for it, or you have to create it yourself in the community. No institutions, no dormitories, no college campus, no gated community, no isolation, nothing like that in the community. And there was a law that was passed 3 years ago that says they cannot isolate people. It is against the law. So that basically, you cannot do that. And the other thing about institutions is they won't take your child out as often as you would probably want. And if they get on that craze, then everybody will start recommending it for people, even people that don't need it. That's a big one. And another thing, they may provide you with the job opportunities, yes, But I had a bad experience in that type of a setting, and their version of a job setting in the school I was in, where I was shut in a shredding room for 2 hours, almost the whole morning, almost 3 hours. But I got out of my own accord and I asked, is there any other work you want me to do? And they said, I just don't know what to do with you anymore. And they locked me up because of an autism behavior. Big one, autism behavior. It will get so crowded with people that they will do that to your autistic person. Now, I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just telling you the truth here. And it does not work for all autistic people. Make communities more aware of people with autism. Don't isolate them. Do not isolate them. If you have somebody with autism that's in an institution, I wanted to get out of there. Okay? I got out of there not knowing what to do. I had not very many community experiences, so I was not prepared for the world, for the life ahead of me. I was not prepared for things I had to deal with. Not prepared. Listen to that. They do not prepare your son or daughter for life. Real life happens. If you really want what's best for them, do not build institutions. Because institutions will not give them what's best for them. I know you're well-intentioned because you have trouble finding services. There's really no services in your area. No institutions. One, they're expensive. Two, they're terrible places for people. And three, they don't give your son or daughter the dignity, the care, the support that they would need. You know, I know that at first they might seem like a great idea, but they will not do anything for your son or daughter other than, lock them up and, just, give them basic care needs, medical needs, but they're not going to have the social experience. And if one day they had to leave, they're not going to be prepared. They're not going to know what to do. You're going to have all these people, being sheltered, not knowing what to do. You want to shelter these people? These are your kids. There's a lot of parents out there that I know of that would not want to put their kids in that type of a situation. Hell no. I don't want to be in an institution ever again. And if I have to, I will fight to make sure that I get to stay in the community. And the only way that's going to keep me in the community if they start doing this is my music. Because I'm not going to an institution. I'm here to stay. You guys really need to understand this. Institutions don't work. Institutions will not work they may work for some people that have so many medical needs that they can't be served in the community, that need to be in a hospital setting. But they will not work if you are higher functioning. Or even lower functioning that can actually do stuff for that matter. They're not going to teach them very much. They're just going to sit them in there and let them rot, basically. Not really, but they're just going to let them rot, do nothing, and just keep them there. They're going to do nothing with them. I mean, they have their programs, they have inappropriate programs for some people. And you want that for us? Are you fucking kidding me? You really want that for us? And I'm sorry for the language. I know that my language is probably not that great. But if you're telling me that the best place for me is in an institution, a college campus as you call it, or a farmstead, you're dead wrong, brother. You're dead wrong, sister. I never want anything to do with an institution ever again. And neither would anybody else. Or a lot of people for their son or daughter. And another thing, yeah, they may give your son or daughter the education, but they may not always get the appropriate services. My mom had to go through so many fights with that school to make sure that everything was implemented appropriately. Because it was not being implemented appropriately. I was in an academic, higher functioning type of program that's like a one-size-fits-all. It just didn't work for me after a while. Yeah, their independent program, I mean, that did not work for me because it was one-size-fits-all. Assuming that everybody would be able to live on their own in that program. And I was the only one that wouldn't be. I'm sorry, but there was a lot of people that have had so many bad experiences with institutions. So little staff that people got naked and they smeared piss and shit everywhere in the institution. People who are lower functioning. And then they also got beaten, abused, sexually abused, physically abused. Even in the campus type of setting, they would get physically abused, verbally abused. I have a friend at that school that's getting getting abused. Okay? That is another reason institutions don't work. And my sister's going to be moving into the community pretty soon. And that means, and if I'm going to have to move to an institution, there's no way. I would rather, be left for dead and be put in an institution. I'd rather live on the street than be in an institution. I mean, I'm sorry about the be left for dead, but you know what I mean. Like, I would rather do everything I could to avoid going to one. And that's all I gotta say. They don't work. Invest more money into community settings. For the last time I'm gonna say this, we do not need institutions. Everybody will not do well in an institution. What about dignity? What about respect for the person? They're people. Institutions will view them as just, a client or a number. But they're people. You got to start realizing that. But that's what institutions are going to do. Do your research on the internet. Look up institutions on the internet. And you'll see a lot of stories of people who did not benefit from institutional living. That is my message for today. My autism awareness video for the day. And I will talk to you guys later.
Stop button. Pause button. Stop button.